From Chapter 15, this is a picture showing the smog in China. The smog is a result of industry in China and ignored or low pollution restrictions. Releasing all types of air pollutants poisons the people living there, violating basic human rights. The air pollutants affect the ecosystem negatively as well. For me personally, this is the hardest image to look at. I've even heard that schools have to check smog levels daily to know whether it is safe enough to let the children outside. From Chapter 18, this is a picture of a rhino poached for its horn. Many species of rhinos are endangered or extinct due to poaching. The target for poachers is the rhino's horn that can be sold for huge amounts of money. Most of the time, the poachers are foreign armies seeking to earn money for supplies and ammunition. Because of the demand for the horn and the killing of the rhinos, they must now be protected. This is an issue that makes me very upset because the rhinos shouldn't be endangered in the first place, and the killing of these rhinos only leads to more death and wars. From Chapter 14, this is a picture of the BP oil spill. The oil spill that took place here released 206 million gallons of crude oil into the Gulf of Mexico, 3 times the amount of the Exxon Valdez spill. This costed $56.4 billion, killing thousands of birds and mammals, as well as millions of fish, contaminating wetlands, and bankrupting fisheries. The oil spill shook up the environment and economy so much that both may never be able to fully recover. From a personal view, my family has seen the impacts of the oil spill from tourism to fish prices. I believe it is the Chernobyl of the USA. From Chapter 4, this is a picture of a mangrove tree that is a natural filter in intertidal zones and provides flood protection. These trees are very important to the ecosystems, providing protection from raging waters and a home for marine organisms. However, many of the mangrove trees have been cut down recently due to space demand. If this trend continues to happen, it could ruin ecosystems and the villages that cut them down. I personally believe it is important to protect these trees not only for the protection, but also for intrinsic value as well. Another reason to save them is that they can be studied by scientists to help design new filter technologies. From Chapter 7, this is a graph showing the human population over time. Over time, countries have gone through demographic transition, improving healthcare, extending life, and lowering the TFR. In today's world, the population is so high because of the extent of life and the high TFR in developing countries. Many families rely on multiple children to have a secure income, and women in developing countries are not as educated. The huge amounts of people puts a lot of stress on the planet for resources, and soon we may even start to see huge resource wars. From a personal view, it stuns me how many people there are on this planet and how far we've come. However, at the same time, I realize how much we will have to adapt to the changes and figure out solutions for environmental problems that we ourselves caused. From Chapter 3, this is a picture of a diagram of the carbon cycle. The carbon cycle is necessary for the environment, but today the amount of carbon dioxide being pumped into the air is not sustainable. By burning fossil fuels, it releases more CO2 into the air, and being a greenhouse gas, it heats up the earth, leading to global warming and climate change. We are all affected by the huge amounts of CO2. Examples of this are smog and climate change. From Chapter 18, this is a map showing areas of deforestation in the world. The effects of deforestation are very evident in today's world. Cutting down trees and using the land for agriculture and animal farms releases more methane and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, heating up the planet. Also, deforestation causes habitat loss for thousands of species, bringing them to the brink of extinction. Deforestation has also contributed to floods in South America. I believe it would benefit the environment and humanity to not deforest. Forests provide natural services for us, and they have an intrinsic value as well. From Chapter 8, this is a picture of a mountaintop removal mine. Mountaintop removal is a mining technique that involves using explosives to remove the top of a mountain to remove deposits. Not only does this method destroy a mountain, but it ruins the habitats and kills hundreds of animals and plants in the process. Also, mining equipment must be used, requiring the use of fuel and transportation, as well as the construction of roads. I personally do not like this type of mining due to the huge negative effects it has on the environment. Also, too, it harms animals in the process of the removal. From Chapter 17, this is a picture of Chernobyl, the biggest nuclear disaster to ever happen. During the meltdown, huge amounts of radiation were let out, exposing citizens and the environment to it. After the meltdown, people were evacuated, but it was already too late. People were poisoned, and some had even died. Also, children of the citizens that were exposed can carry mutations or cancer, as well as those who were exposed to it. Today, the ecosystem is still in ruin, though it is recovering. I believe that this disaster is a moment in our history to learn from. We can find better ways to run nuclear power plants and study the long term effects of radiation on the environment, and we can find out how long it will take to fully recover. From Chapter 1, this is a picture of a methane well used in the fracking process. As you all know, fracking is a process of extracting natural gas from shale deposits by blasting it with chemical water and sand. Fracking not only pollutes aquifers we drink from, it also lets out huge amounts of methane and can cause earthquakes as well. Fracking violates human rights of clean drinking water and clean air. What is most disturbing about this to me is that the fact that we experience it in our own country. This lets us see the effects of pollution that we cause in other parts of the world as well.